Hello, everyone, and welcome back to This Day in History, our nightly look back at a specific day in history, where we take a look back at the events of that day, the historic context in which they took place, and the historic ramifications of those events. And we take a look at some people that were born on that day and some people that died on it. If you have not yet, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon to be alerted anytime I post new content, and tell a friend. And without any further ado, this day in history, March 25th. And on this day in 1911, the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire occurred in New York City. The tragedy is one of the pivotal events in the labor movement in the United States. It led to laws and regulations that better protected factory workers. The factory was located on the top 3 floors of the Ace building in Manhattan. It was a true sweatshop, employing young immigrant women who worked in cramped spaces and made only $15 per week. They worked 12 hours a day every day. There were 600 workers working at the factory when the fire began in a rug bin. The manager attempted to put the fire out with a fire hose, but the hose was rotted and the water valve was rusted shut. The exits were wholly inadequate, and within 18 minutes, dozens of workers had burned to death, or had been suffocated by smoke, or had fallen to their death in the elevator shaft, or died jumping out the windows, with 2 more dying later from injuries. A total of 146 people were killed by the fire. As I said, this is one of those pivotal events in the labor movement in the United States that led to laws that better protected factory workers. And it's truly shocking when you read about how awful the conditions were in this factory. And when you look how far we have advanced as a country since then. And I know somebody will comment, well, Jake, that was 109 years ago as I'm recording this video. Yes, but by that time, people should have realized that these type of events can occur in these situations, and you need a way to get people out and not kill your employees. It's one of those pivotal events in U.S. history. And when anyone talks about lowering labor standards or events of this nature, I think they really need to think long and hard and look to events like this. March 25th births. On this day in 1965, Sarah Jessica Parker was born in Nelsonville, Ohio. Miss Parker is an American actress that is best known for her role as Carrie Bradshaw on Sex and the City, that originally aired on HBO and later aired in syndication. I never watch Sex and the City when it was originally airing on HBO, but I was in high school when it began airing in syndication. And I thought at the time that Sarah Jessica Parker was just one of the most gorgeous actresses on earth. And I have to admit, I watched a lot of episodes on TBS. There's my one admission for this video. She had been active in acting and has been since an early age. She made her Broadway debut at the age of 11 and made her film debut in 1984 in the film Footloose. Miss Parker dated Robert Downey Jr. from 1984 to 1991, but his substance abuse problems that he had at the time contributed to the end of their relationship. She briefly dated JFK Jr. And in 1997, she married her husband, Matthew Broderick, in May of that year. They have a son together, born in 2002, and twin daughters born via a surrogate in 2009. They split their time between Greenwich Village in New York City and Kilcar in Ireland. As I said, she's a very successful actress, and most known for her role as Carrie Bradshaw, and also is a very famous fashion icon. In 2000, she hosted the MTV Movie Awards, and changed outfits like 14, 15 times. She was going through some wardrobe that night. Deaths that occurred on this day. In 2009, at the age of 89, in Santa Barbara, California, Herb Peterson died. And Herb Peterson was a fast food advertising executive with McDonald's. And he was a fast food scientist. He invented the Egg McMuffin. And in 1972, and it quickly became a staple of the menu for McDonald's, and one of the most successful items the company offers, and one of the most profitable. So I think anyone who's ever been to a McDonald's has probably had a McMuffin. They're awesome. They're really tasty. I'm not a big muffin fan, but I'll eat a McMuffin. So yeah, and they cook the little egg with the little circle that has become so popular in cooking establishments. I mean, they put your Canadian, you put your little egg on there, and your cheese, and your Canadian bacon, and you put the McMuffin on there, and you just, if you're like me, you'll put some mustard on there. Have to make do with regular mustard. If I was going to put the mustard I wanted, I'd put stone ground mustard on it. You have to pay a little extra for it, but you will know where that money goes. Let me tell you. And you just take a big bite out of it, and it's really good. So as I said, one of those items that at the time people probably thought, Herb, you're crazy. No one's going to want an Egg Benedict ripoff from McDonald's. But Herb knew what he was talking about, and I believe you can get it any time of day now. I do believe it's part of the breakfast all day menu at McDonald's. The McMuffin, the man that introduced the McMuffin, died on this day in 2009. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great night.